another video this week. I hope everyone has had a great week and is enjoying the last bits of summer here. I myself am trying to wrap up the summer here. Kids are getting back to school in about less than 10 days. That signals to me the end of summer, beginning of fall. Fall's my favorite time of the year, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, savoring the last few days of summer here for sure. But today I wanted to chat to everyone about something that I was trying to help someone out online. They were asking a little bit about some weight loss goals that they had, specifically in the short term. They had to lose a couple of pounds, around 6 pounds or so, a little bit more than that, 6, 7 pounds, to make weight for an Olympic weightlifting competition that we're doing, which is super cool. And they were thinking about adding in some running into their exercise programming to help assist with weight loss. They were asking about adhering to the MAF formula, or 180 minus age, which if you're not familiar with that, that's just a easy way of figuring out your zone 2 exercise. So they're trying to do some easy jogging basically to assist with the cut that they need to do to make weight for this Olympic weightlifting competition. And so I just helping them out initially with, when you start to do this zone 2 work, this easy running can be quite frustrating because your heart rate will easily spike up above your zone 2. It's called your threshold. So that's where that formula comes in. The 180 minus your age that's the max heart rate that you should be running at to stay in your zone 2. So that's one way of identifying that. And they were finding quite frustrating, like every single person that ever does that as soon as they started running, it would kind of spike up above that and force them to walk. And they were asking if it would get any better. Of course, my answer to that question is yes. You just got to stick with it, keep on trying. And over the course of several months, you'll see that you'll be able to run faster before you have to, run longer before you have to stop and walk. But anyways, there was a kind of a side question or side discussion regarding nutrition, also in terms of cutting weight, because oftentimes while exercise can be beneficial for weight loss goals, it's not really the determining factor. In some cases, depends on the person, the situation, etc. But in some points, in some people, adding more exercise is not necessarily going to reduce weight loss. And a lot of weight loss is determined by what you're actually eating. So there's a side discussion on nutrition and also just long-term goals. This person was saying that they wanted to lose weight, more body fat after the competition was over. They wanted to drop more than the 7 pounds that they needed to make weight. And so we started talking about nutrition, the long-term goal, in discussing current activity levels. And turns out that this person is training 2 hours plus a day, doing Olympic weightlifting 4 times a week, and was, as we just talked about, adding additional exercise on top of that. A few days of running. Granted, it's easy running, but they're already working out 4 days a week for 2 hours, and they were going to add more exercise on top of that. Response back to this person after figuring this whole discussion out, also that they were already eating around 2,000 calories a day, etc. I said to them, for your short-term weight loss goal to make weight for the competition, I think adding the additional cardio and maybe dropping a little bit of extra calories can assist there, or probably get you to the 7 pounds that you need. However, for your long-term weight loss goals, we have to change approaches, because you're already doing 4 sessions a week of exercise, plus at 2 hours per session, plus you're adding zone 2 cardio, and plus you're only eating 2,000 calories a day. That's just a lot of exercise with not a lot of calories. And so further pushing exercise and or less calories is not really going to be the answer. So for this person, it's probably not a situation that many people fall into, but it illustrates a larger point that I wanted to address here. So in my mind, I think the course of action for this person for their long-term weight loss goals was actually to cut back on their exercise. So instead of doing 4 days a week of strength training at 2 hours per session, why not just do 3 days a week of exercise for an hour and make sure you're getting your 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day the rest of the time? And because I think this person ultimately, they're going to have a hard time losing their excess body fat that they want to lose if their body is under so much constant stress. Imagine this scenario. You're this person, you're working out super hard, you're training for this competition. At the same time, you're trying to eat as little as possible. And the body is seeing you put out this extreme amount of energy expenditure from your exercise at a very high intensity, and you're not giving it a lot of food. And what do you think it's going to try and do with the excess body fat that it has? Well, it's going to try and preserve it as much as it possibly can because it's seeing this as an energy crisis. In its mind, its little monkey brain doesn't really know what you're doing. It just thinks that, oh, this person's working really hard. There's not a lot of food coming in, and I have some fat on me, and I need this fat to survive. So I'm going to do everything I can to preserve that fat. Because what happens if tomorrow there's no coming in and there is, still a lot of exercise, still a lot of energy expenditure? Uh, I don't want to die. So I want to make sure I have proper amounts of fat stores around. So this is where a situation where I think in this, a couple people, like I said, not a lot of people are going to fall into this because not a lot of people, including myself, are working out 2 hours a day, 4 days a week. They're putting their body under extreme amount of stress, and their body's thinking, I'm going to preserve everything I can as well as I possibly can because I don't really want this fat to go anywhere because I need it just in case something bad happens. And so by cutting back on the exercise and sending a signal to the body that it's okay, that we're in a safe spot, there is food around, I'm not going crazy with all the amount of exercise I'm doing, it's going to calm down and say, all right, we have some wiggle room here. I don't need all this fat around because I feel pretty safe right now. And I can start to let go of some of this fat and make it easier to do some fat loss. And like I said, that's not the scenario that a lot of people are under, but a lot of people are under a lot of stress. Your body can't distinguish stress from exercise versus stress from your kids, stress from your job, stress from your finances, stress from your family members. It can't distinguish all that stuff to it. It just looks like a bunch of stress, and your brain can make it seem like it's life-threatening stress. So when you put your body under, you have all the stress, and then you have, or maybe it's the stress of not sleeping. Maybe your sleep is really poor, or you're stressed from poor diet choices or drinking alcohol, too much alcohol, or whatever it might be. Like, it's all a stress that the body and sees it as a stress. And then it's going to say, okay, you're trying to take away my food. I'm in a very stressful situation. I need to make sure that this body fat sticks around a little bit because I don't know when this little small source of calories that you are giving me is going to go away. We need to survive, and I'm going to hold on to everything. We need to recognize that when we put our body under extreme amount of stress, its default response to that stress is going to be survival. And again, we're programmed for survival, not in this 21st century, hundreds of thousands of years ago, where stress was like live or die situations. And the ultimate goal of every human on this earth was not to look good in their bathing suit. It was to reproduce. And so it doesn't care that maybe you don't have the best body composition because it's holding on to this fat. It just wants to make sure that you have enough energy to have a child, pass on your genes, and then stick around for a little bit to make that child of age so they can survive on their own. And then you can go on from there. But the ultimate goal of every human, even today in this 21st century with all our modern technology and abundant food for most people, et cetera, is to pass on our genes. And we can never forget that our bodies still operate like 100,000 years ago. And the threat that is the ultimate threat to everyone is dying and not passing on our genes and not continuing the species. So we have to take that mindset and look at our lives in the modern world and say, okay, I'm trying to simulate a famine situation, soothe my body by starving it and not feeding it enough food. But at the same time, I have all these stressors in my life, and I'm trying to take away the body's survival mechanism, i.e. its body fat. What do you think the body's going to do? Well, the body's going to make sure that it does everything it can to preserve that body fat. And we're really primed to do that. So for this person, their stress was I think the large amount of exercise that they're doing for their training. But for you, the stress might be something else. Like I said, it might be work stress. It might be finances. It might be kids. It might be family members. It might be lack of sleep. It might be a combination, and most likely is a combination of all these things. And so we need to look at that and take that into consideration when we're going into these diet phases. How is our stress, and is it going to impact our body's perception of what I'm about to do by going on this diet? and restricting its energy. And how is that going to play out? So the best advice I can give you, and there's never going to be zero stress in your life. There's always going to be some stress, is to try and mitigate that stress using, the various stress techniques that we've talked about, whether it's meditation, going for walks. If it's stress that you can control, eliminating that stress. If it's stress you can't control, how can you do some additional stress management techniques like meditation or going for a walk or reading a book or getting some extra sleep or whatever it might be to help give your body that's safe feeling, so that it can assist in their fat loss, not necessarily stop you from their fat loss goals or your weight loss goals. And I've written many a blog posts about this. If you are interested in learning more about different stress management strategies and how this impacts the body, please reach out to me, leave a comment below. I'll happily share those blog posts with you. A direct message to me. I'll share those blog posts with you. Free, again, free information, no obligation or at all. Just please comment below or direct message me. I'm happy to give them to you. So really the message today is fat loss and stress go hand in hand. They're highly intertwined, and you need to be mindful of both ends of the equation in order to be successful in your weight loss and fat loss journey. So with that, if you are enjoying all the content that I'm putting out on a weekly basis, please consider signing up for my newsletter. You can go to rjbhealth.coach, click on the newsletter tab right in the top, enter your email address, and it's the best way to sign up. That will get you on the newsletter, and then I can email you all the content that I put out so you don't have to stalk me anywhere on social media. If you are interested in getting some assistance with your own fat loss or weight loss journey and you need some help, I am taking one-on-one clients at the moment. So please go to my website again, rjbhealth.coach. Click on schedule discovery call button, which is right on the homepage. You'll fill out the form. I'll get an email about that, and I can get back to you and we can talk more about working together. Or if you don't want to do that, you can leave a comment below or direct message me or any number of ways to get in contact with me. And I'm happy to talk more about setting up some time to chat about one-on-one coaching.